Hi there, this is Balsamic Moon Tarot, and I'm here with a channeled message for the collective. This is a message to help us prepare for the upcoming full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces that's happening September 7, 2025. So if you are watching this video after the fact, feel free to listen in and take whatever resonates, but just know that my intention is to help the collective in the next couple days. So there's plenty of content online about eclipses. I'm not the best person to share information on that, so I don't want to get into it too much, but just, just in general, eclipses are very powerful moments. A lot of people think that we shouldn't be doing any rituals, any magic during the time of an eclipse like we would normally do during a new moon or a full moon. So take that however however it resonates with you. I don't advise one way or the other. To me, it seems to be practical that if the eclipse is not visible to you where you are, that maybe it wouldn't impact you the same way in a part of the world where the eclipse is visible. So that's one thing to take in mind that I would suggest. But yeah, I'll just get right into it. I already have a sense of who this message is for. So I'm going to give as much information as possible so that you can get confirmation, if this is your message or not. But again, don't try to, fit the narrative. Just let it spark your own intuition. Take whatever resonates, and whatever does not resonate with you, leave it behind for the person it's meant for. So we have a bunch of oracle cards here. We have the womb, the king, the seed, and the castle. And we also have carnelian, which is described here with the terms energy, leadership, and creativity. Actually, let me go ahead and bring that to you. Yeah, you can see that. The carnelian is a fiery red gemstone. We have 2 candles that are lit, 2 flames there, which is definitely a beautiful card to show up after the womb and the king, because the king here is showing up very fiery with these orange and yellow and red colors, and then the womb is also showing up with warm colors as well. So I'll go ahead and let you take a look at that. Look at that. This is about consciousness, right? This is about that life force. So creativity, energy, leadership. We also have rain showing up, and a white flower, possibly a lily. It says cleansing, purification, and hydration. Interesting. Here we have winter, an ending, recharging, reflection. We see a cardinal bird, so another color red showing up. And we have a wintry setting, which is reflecting the white flower here. So the wintry setting is purifying, and yeah, it's like so there's already the 2 themes coming up, right? The theme of creativity and life force and bold, bold, energetic being, like this cardinal that is, a bright, warm color in the sort of the drab, vast whiteness of winter. It's this like flicker, right, of consciousness. And lastly, we have this card, the roots, healthy patterns, early growth. And this is interesting because it's showing skulls in the ground as well as mushrooms on the surface. So the root system of this tree is being nourished by breaking down what has outlived its usefulness, right? Breaking down something that is dead and decaying, right? It's using the process of death and decay to nourish new life forms, new life, emergence of new phenomena, the nutrients are getting recycled. Okay, the things from our past and even our past pains, are whatever we're grieving from the past, is not just like baggage to weigh us down. It can be transmuted, it can be tapped into as a source of energy, as a source of fuel, you know, something to fuel our future. So that is interesting in light of the seed. We have, actually, we have 3 cards here that, oh wait, what am I talking about? There's all these cards. These 4 cards here show pearls in some capacity. So we have the king with the hand here and the wax seal, so representing authority of the king, and we have a pearl on the fingertips. So there's, you know, pearl in one's hands, there's this like material success, or this representation of one's power, one's status. Okay, the pearl is being, you know, held or received by the king. And then with the seed, the pearl is showing up here kind of on its lonesome, surrounded by what looks to me like tree rings. So it's kind of pointing to how like an acorn can grow into a big oak tree, right? The seed has all the magic within it to grow into a fully magical being, a fully functional, fully matured being. All that potential in this tiny, unassuming seed. Okay, activation, the power to activate, the power to manifest, is in this pearl. And then with the womb, here we have the triangular shape, right? Which I'm not too well versed in alchemy, but I know that this refers to a symbol in alchemy as well. But I think in many systems of thought and mystery schools, the triangle and the downward triangle is representative of something. But here I feel like, you know, we're thinking about the womb, we're thinking about feminine reproductive organs, as well as the pointing downwards, like bringing something down into earth. So the you know, the birth of new life from source, from the divine. And then lastly, we have the castle with a square shape of pearls, as well as this rose, and it looks like an eye that has diamonds on the eyelashes there. So there's something about capturing beauty, there's something about you know, representations of, again, wealth, beauty, status. But with the castle, it's talking about this, like, yeah, it's talking about, to me, the accumulation of wealth, and even like the protection of wealth. Castle walls are built to withstand attacks, right? It's a defensive building. So within the castle walls, in a sense, we have a very fragile rose blossom here. So there's something ephemeral, there's something precious, fragile, timely, right? The bloom fell off the rose. It's like there's a fullness of being that is being safeguarded and being protected here. So, okay, so I've got a number of things to say. That's a lot of beautiful imagery and symbolism. And what I'm gathering from all of this, I'll just go into it. The first message that I'm getting is, like, this is a collective that I'm getting 9 months. You're putting something into the ground, metaphorically. Could be literal, but there's this idea of planting the seed that needs to overwinter, right? If you're familiar, I think a lot of wildflowers need to overwinter, but like there's all sorts of plants. I think it's garlic. Like there are things we plant in the fall, which is kind of, we're coming into fall in North America. There's things we plant in the fall because the seeds benefit from the months of coldness, in, you know, months of cold soil. And the reason why I think that idea is coming into this reading is because it's necessary to purify. It's necessary to go through this process of cleansing and purification. So I think for us in this collective, there is a purifying process of our psyches, of our consciousness, of our being, our will to exist, our will to be, our creative force. Our, we are each a king in our domain, and we are each building a castle that is like an edification of all that we hold dear. We are each building our legacy. We are each building our, we're each like working to impact the society or the earth or the family in some way. We want to make a lasting change here. We want a legacy, right? And we understand that we can't do these things on our own. We're working with the natural forces. We're working with our guides, with with the divine, but it's like we're working with the entire system that surrounds us, the entire ecosystem of our lives. So when I see the king and the womb and the seed, what I'm thinking is we're trying to generate a project or a goal. We're trying to generate success, a successful outcome, by giving this initial beginning stage, the seed stage, right? We're trying to give our little seed of a project, idea, or goal. We're trying to give that seed the best possible incubation period, the best possible overwintering, right? We're trying to give it the best possible environment for its success, for its thriving, for its sprouting. So it's interesting because we have fiery energy, but we also have cool and watery energy. So it's like both the fire and the water are purifiers. Both have the ability to purify, but in different ways, right? Fire, burning the dross. This is like sheer force of will. This is yang energy, between yin and yang. This is yang energy. This is being very clear and explicit about what it is we want to see in the world. It's about having a vision, right? And so just like that cardinal, it's very visible, it's very bold, it's out there. We're not ashamed of what we want to bring into the world. We wear it on our sleeves, right? It's like we're very open and honest about what we want to bring into the world. So there's a time now to be a leader. There's a time now in this lead up to the eclipse to do something bold, to take bold action. And the reason why is because it is going to enable healthy patterns and early growth. It's almost like you're digging the hole for the root base. Okay, if you're familiar with gardening, you got to dig into the soil to make some space before you transplant like a sapling, right, or a seedling. You have to actually like carve into the soil. So that's what I'm seeing this in my mind, is that our activation potential right now is to be bold and to create this space for what we're trying to do. For some of us, that is actually purifying in the sense of ridding our lives of certain unnecessary like things, baggage, relationships, expectations, feelings. Okay, so there's a purifying process that can occur when we declutter our physical space, our home, our office. There's a purifying that can happen when we do things like that. Get rid of these things that have just been sitting around, not adding any value and just taking up space. This is what I mean by that flame burning the dross. There's also like emotionally, sometimes we need to express our feelings in order to release those feelings. So maybe there's some tension in a relationship of yours where you haven't been able to speak your mind. Okay, that's that leadership, that's taking action, is like confronting somebody with your, I don't want to say like, blow blow your fuse and like, you know, I'm not trying to tell you to like have a bad temper. I'm just trying to say like it's this same energy here of the king that gives us this confidence and this like willpower to confront an issue or relationship issue, in which we have to assert ourselves, in which we have to like just stand up for ourselves. Okay, so you could take the energy that way, but again, something we are initiating at this time, I'm hearing, is going to take 9 months to really fully progress. So we put the seed into the ground now. We start the initial phase of this project now, and we must have patience over the next 9 months, because it's not a process we can rush. This manifestation process we're working on is not something we can rush, okay? I'm going to pull some cards now, and let's go into tarot. Can I get confirmation or response to what I just said? Can I get a clarification for this collective? Wheel of Fortune, wow. Changing of the cycles. So that's the thing, is that the conditions, the environmental conditions for this project of yours, or this goal, whatever this is, it is going to change over the next 9 months. So this is about being prepared for all those changes, being prepared as much in advance. That's why you want to put your best foot forward now. You're trying to establish healthy patterns, and you're trying to accomplish early growth so that the future growth isn't compromised. You want to give future growth as much chance to succeed. With the Wheel of Fortune, we have a sense of destiny. We also have simply good fortune, good luck. So it's almost like feeling destined to do something, and that's like that's how you're motivated. It's like you feel so motivated because you feel it in your bones, like this is what I'm meant to do, or this is the next stage for me, and like you feel great about it. But you also don't want to take for granted, right, that this is your destiny. You want to assist your destiny, right, in unfolding. You want to assist the timeline. So there's actions that we can take now. There's the Knight of Wands. Yeah, beautiful. This is not a time to rest on your laurels. Take bold action now. I'm also hearing strike while the iron is hot. And we have the World. Yeah, so the World is showing up as time, the time it takes to give something a full life cycle. And there we have eggs in a nest. We have a butterfly, or it might be a moth, but we have, you know, the transformation process, right? And then we also have turtles. So the deep spirituality that undergirds physical reality. It refers back to that watery womb of potential, how we are placing our seed in like the soil, right? The yin and the yang together is what manifests. So there's the tree, and there are the roots. It's beautiful, beautiful resonance there. Let's keep going with, sorry, I'm not trying to make more noise. I'm really loving these oracle decks, and I feel like this reading is going to be mostly oracle decks. So let's keep going. What is the advice for this collective? Just one card, please. Embracing. And this looks like an egret, a crane. This is a bird that travels very far. It also it can be found in marshes. It can be found in coastal areas, which are the boundaries, right? The borders between earth and water, between land and sea. So embracing that you're entering this transitional time period. The actions you take now will not be immediately visible in the world, but it doesn't mean you have no responsibility for these actions. It is important to take actions in faith and in trusting that process, in trusting the growth process, the life process, the rebirth process. Take actions in that faith that the changes are afoot, even when they are not immediately visible. So embracing that present moment that you are in now, embracing the unknown, embracing the mystery. We have openness. Wow. So again, beautiful energy here with the full moon. This is about embracing the whatever comes to the surface during this eclipse. Embrace it. So you might have feelings that turbulent feelings that come to the surface. You might have memories from the past that, you know, break the surface of your unconscious, that come to the forefront of your consciousness. Be open to receiving these impressions, these memories, these messages, these wisdoms. Okay, your guides really want to your guides, our guides, are telling us, you know, to really open up that receptive channel. But of course, while being grounded, right? Like, I'm not trying to say like go and go off the deep end, but within reason, whatever makes sense for you. Be open. Be open to receiving. Be open to wisdom received at this time. It may sound unusual the way it comes through during this eclipse, but there is a message for you, just for you, during this eclipse. We're going to keep going with the oracle cards again. Wow, broken and hatched. Oh my goodness. Birth, rebirth. Oh wow. So here's an eggshell, okay? And look at that beautiful, beautiful mirroring of the imagery again, the open hand receiving. This is the king receiving an offering of that pearl. This is a hand, you know, being connected to source. So it's like mind, body, and spirit connection is what is helping us to rebirth, it is what is helping us to recover our soul, our life force, after a sense of being broken, after a painful experience. We're able to reconnect with our life force and our soul, our soul's way of healing, our soul's unique imprint. Even with the egg, there's the reminder here that we are all souls in the cosmic egg, right? We are self-contained. We have our own sovereignty. We have our own individual being, individual experience. And that's a Virgo Pisces theme. Virgo is an earth sign and concerns itself with the physical manifestation in the world. So it's like Virgo can, I think a lot about gardeners and farming, and like Virgo is very comfortable, you know, manifesting change in the physical world, like whether that's cooking, right? You're in the kitchen transforming these raw ingredients into a meal, or whether that's gardening, you're in the garden transforming the elements of earth and water and sunlight into new plant life, right? So Virgo is very concerned with that, with the systems in the physical world, whereas Pisces doesn't really have, Pisces being on the opposite end of that spectrum. Pisces is about the lack of boundaries. It's about this watery oneness that we all exist in. It's about that matrix that maps all of reality, both physical and spiritual. You know, it's Pisces is about almost like, if you remember osmosis in science class, it's like Pisces is aware that all the energies that exist in every other being and individuated consciousness, all that energy is available to the rest of us. It's like It's like we're all sharing in this experience. We're all sharing in this spiritual experience. And so being, you know, the egg is an interesting concept of that, because the egg has a shell, but that shell contains a watery existence, right? So the painful experiences in our lives, especially emotional pain, emotional traumas, psychological pain and traumas, it can present a crack in our foundation, in our sense of who we are, in our sense of self. It can reveal a crack. It can reveal, you know, a way in which we have a disconnect with ourselves, or with the divine. It can reveal a rift with our soul, or with the divine. So there's broken and hatched, to me, is showing this reconnection. It's showing this reunion, and even like forgiveness. I'm also seeing a lot of power in forgiveness. So for some of you, there might be something that comes up with this eclipse that is you know, something you've been holding on to, like a grudge, or a grievance, just even like an attitude, you know, a knee-jerk reaction. Maybe there's something coming up during this eclipse that you can forgive in order to release yourself of that pain. It's not about absolving the person or the thing that did you wrong. It's forgiving so that you can move on. It's forgiving so that you no longer suffer from holding on to that pain, okay, or that anger or that resentment. So yeah, wow, I love that this card showed up. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. I've got a couple more oracle decks to share with you, and then I'm gonna wrap this up with a few tarot cards. What is the message for the collective? Number 2, trust your wings. Wow, dragonfly. So again, this is, you know, the dragonfly makes me think about this deftness in weaving between the two worlds, you know, weaving between the manifest reality and the potential reality, the potential that exists in the divine, in source, and, you know, the cosmic reality and the earthly reality, the mundane reality and the magical reality, right? So trust your wings, also number 2. So it's talking about duality. So you know, trust your unique way that you navigate the sacred in your life, in your day-to-day life. Trust your intuition when it comes to bringing more of that sacred experience into your mundane life, your mundane existence. I also want to point out the winged creature here. Trust your wings, embracing. So it's about also being brave in whatever you are facing in the next couple days, being brave in being brave to face something that can be difficult or challenging, because you trust that you have the ability to get through it just on your own. Just the wings, right? The wings are going to carry you forward, and you're going to be uplifted by a supportive energy. That supportive energy is the form of spiritual guidance. It's the form of love in your life. It's it could be earthly love, it could be spiritual love, but there is something that is taking you higher. It's uplifting you out of the, like, the swampy, you know, the swampy quagmire of negativity, right? Or even like anything that's outlived its purpose. So remember, I was talking about purifying. There's also this sense of transcending what has been what has been keeping you back or holding you back. There's a sense of soaring above, you know, the dark forces or the dark energies that have invaded your day-to-day existence of life. Sometimes this is you know, being above the fray. Sometimes it's taking the high road instead of indulging in gossip or negative self-talk or criticism of oneself, criticism of others, you know, that judgmental bias. Sometimes it's about taking that high road and like transcending the pettiness, right? The pettiness, particularly if it's about vengeance or revenge. I am getting for a couple of you that this is a theme in your life right now. Even violence or like a violent culture, misogynistic excuse me. Oh, misogynistic culture. Wow, yeah, I'm getting that too. Like you might be in a workplace or a family or just a community in general that that has very toxic attitudes towards other people, other, you know, or just like just in general. Or yeah, like I'm getting some of you, it's like you've been trying to wade through the muck of toxic ideas and attitudes, like people who have just no shame in what they spew, you know, what hate they spew out into the world. And you've kind of got this psychological muck, right? Like you feel like you've waded through the muck after the past several months. So now is a time to, wow, like again, the rain, cleanse yourself of all that toxic just hatred or vitriol, you know. And by being open, we're releasing in order to receive, right? We're releasing. Being open means that with that Pisces energy, it means that we recognize all of us are equals. All of us are on the same page. No one is higher than the other. This is all things being equal. It's like all things come out in the wash. It's understanding that there's no superiority. There's no moral superiority when you are in, you know, when, I guess what I'm trying to say is sort of like, you may not be the person saying something hateful, but maybe just the fact that you kind of, if you're a person who accepts that the hateful stuff is being said and doesn't push back on it, right? Doesn't put a boundary up. There's sort of like this sense of having that complicity, right? And so it's like that sense of swimming in the sludge with others. It's humbling because, you know, you realize like it's like realizing that the collective itself needs to be purified. It's realizing that there's a deeper issue here that needs to be addressed, not just, oh, that's that person who's the problem. Or, you know, it's like, and again, when I said moral superiority, it's like kind of realizing that like change isn't going to occur until you yourself also play your role and like accept your role in it. That's what I mean, accept the role in it. You may not be somebody who's actively committing harms, but I do think this is a time, especially Virgo, Pisces, it's signs of service, it's signs of connection with all of humanity, right? This is these are very spiritual signs. It's about like, what is sacred, you know, sacred and profane, that divide. It's about asking ourselves, like, what do we hold sacred? You know, if we just allow anything and everything to occur, if we don't have any moral compass, or if we don't have any ethical principles, like what do we even think is important in life, right? Where are those boundaries? Where are those limits to what we allow ourselves to do, or how low we can go? And so there's this, again, this high road, there's a higher mentality, there's a not holier than thou, frank. Let me explain. It's not about looking down on others because you feel yourself superior. It's about wanting to uplift all of us to this higher mentality. It's about seeing yourself as having a role in that, serving the greater good by being a force of kindness, of respect, of decency, of principled thought and behavior, right? It's about being that agent of good, of yeah, yeah. I hope that makes sense. I know I talked a lot about it, but I'm just trying to follow that rabbit hole that was there, you know. Some of you have really, I think, have been feeling this very deeply. Like, how can I help the situation? How can I be a helper? Yes. To sum it up, how can we be helpers, right? How can we be helpers when we ourselves feel like we need help? How can we be there for anybody when we ourselves feel like we need somebody? And that's what Broken and Hatched is referring to. It's that even in our brokenness, we can birth something new that is positive. With the king, there is this dignity, right? There's the dignity. We are each king of our domain. So it's about taking responsibility for that which is in our lives and that which is in our personal domain, taking responsibility for these relationships we have that may not be healthy. You know, it takes two to be in relationship. Am I in relation with someone or something that has actually been so sucking my soul dry, right? It's actually been draining me of my spiritual being. Like it's things like that that we need to, that would be helpful to question and investigate in the next couple days. We have the Two of Pentacles here. I'm going to wrap this up with a few tarot cards. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, so toying with two ideas or two, you know, this is about being a bit non-committal, and again with that openness. Like, this is about entertaining other options in order to improve a situation for the long term, in order to guarantee long-term success. The Seven of Pentacles is about evaluation. So you're evaluating your approach to something. And again, that long-term success, right? I'm talking about a 9-month period. Whatever you are gestating now, whatever you are starting right now, it's going to take time. So take the time to do it right. You know, take the time to give it the best possible life cycle. We have, I want to get a different tarot deck. The question is, oh, this is the other oracle deck I wanted to use. Actually, I'll go back to this one. A couple more tarot cards, please. What is the last word of advice for this collective? Last word of advice. This collective is a very caring group of people. And I do feel like, you know, compared to other people around you, you haven't given in to despair. You haven't given up on this world, on making this world a better place. We have the Three of Cups. Makes me think of the collective that's here. We also have the phases of the moon showing up here. A milestone, a celebration, a reason to come together. Yeah, a reason to come together as a community, as a family, as a social circle. We have the Three of Wands. Yeah, beautiful energy. Again, fire and water showing up. The elements of fire and water. Consciousness and spirit. Consciousness and unconsciousness. Soul and spirit. Eight of Cups with the rainbow there. The King of Wands, yeah, very much in line with that oracle card of the King. And the Prince of Wands, also known as the Knight of Wands. I'm going to put this one up here. So in terms of a last message, yeah, I'm getting very positive. I'm seeing something very positive occurring in the next couple of days for this collective. There's going to be support. a lot of excitement, enthusiasm, and support and energy. A lot of warm receptivity to what you're doing, what you're putting out in the world. Someone's going to express their adoration in some way. You know, could be some, it could be something you don't really put stock in, like something kind of trivial, like, you know, maybe somebody just like a comment on a mess on your social media, right? Like, but there is this like idea of you basking in some attention and becoming aware of your own magnetism, your own aura, which is very positive for you at this time. We have the Eight of Cups, so you're coming out of, you're kind of reached just now submerging, no, sorry. You're just now emerging from a period of being submerged. So you might have been laying low for a time, trying to process something, trying to transmute something, not being very sociable, or just being focused on whatever this thing is that you're so focused on, this goal, this project. You've been kind of in a, you know, in a, again, in a private mode, or just not really socializing. But that's changing. There's a chance to socialize in the next couple days, and I do see a lot of encouragement to do it. It's going to give you this renewed sense of vigor. It's going to freshen you up with the rain. It's going to feel very purifying. It's going to feel very cleansing to be around people who are warm and friendly and nurturing. Yeah, we have inspiration. So I think for some of you, this is a specific social setting in which there's a creative activity, or maybe like it's just very inspiring, like being at an art exhibit or being at a play or being a music concert. Like it could be something that really does inspire you. And then we have the roots. This is very cool. We have like a butterfly shape here, but it's forming out of what look to be tree roots. So whatever is inspiring you in the next couple days is actually going to have an influence on this long-term project of yours, that 9-month idea, right? Whatever inspiration you're gleaning now, capture it. Make sure you figure out a way to save those ideas or save those impressions, even if it's a journal, a vision board, whatever resonates with you. I'm not quite done. I feel like there's still something here. Let me go ahead and get a couple more cards, and then we'll wrap this up. Anything else, please? Clarification or response to what I just said. Yeah, this is the card. Celebrate the little things. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, exactly. Celebrate the little things. So, you know, this is a good time in the next couple days to, again, go out and go out and about, circulate. Even if you're doing a solitary activity, it's just doing something nice for yourself. You know, maybe you've been working hard on something, you've been cooped up. Get out there in the fresh air. Treat yourself to a nice meal, or treat yourself to you know, to dessert, something sweet that you normally wouldn't, right? It's just be a bit indulgent in the next couple days is the advice I'm getting. And then lastly, a couple more cards here. Last message, please. Perseverance. Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. So this is about, you know, the inspiration, the conviviality, the positive feelings that are coming up in the next couple days. It's like refilling the bank. It's like filling up the fuel tank. You need to absorb as much good energy now as you can, because the next several months are going to feel like going into winter. You're going to need to hunker down. You're going to need to persevere. You're going to need to stay determined and focused on something. You know, it's about not having that immediate gratification for this project. So fill up your bank, fill up that reservoir of joy now with positive things that you can, you know, tap into in the next coming months. I think some of you might be like maybe deployed into service or something. You know, there's something that is very clearly going on in the next several months, like you know, maybe traveling for work, or yeah, having to be on site for work, for a project. It could be like maybe some of you are doing your last year of school, or you're entering the school year knowing that you have like a dissertation or a thesis to work on. So you're aware of this like long-term project that's going to be, it's going to require like a lot of hard work on your part. Soak in that positive energy now. Soak it in, save it for that rainy day, save it for, you know, that time in the future when it can really boost you, right? Boost you through the winter. So I hope that makes sense to you all. If that resonated with you, please do click the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and feel free to chime in the comments with your feedback or thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Hello, I'm back. I just wanted to mention one last thing, which is that this is a reading that is offering a free card pull. So feel free to chime in the comments if you want me to pull a card for you, and I will reply back and let you know which card that was. It will be a tarot card so that you can look up the meaning, or if you're already a tarot reader, you can interpret the meaning for yourself, however resonates for you. But yeah, every Friday I put out a video where I'm offering this. So hope to see you in the comments. Take care. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. I will now, I will end the video here, but I hope to see you at the next video. Take care.